Well, I don't know if this season's quite to the point where it needs to be salvaged, but there's no trade. And Broussard, sometimes I feel like I'm the only man with internet access. Like I'm the only person who has the ability to type in Lakers spot rack into Google, go there, look at it, and be like, oh yeah, no trades available. That Lakers have one salary on their roster that's more than $5 million and less than $35 million. Talen Horton-Tucker. That's it. So that's the only easily tradable piece in the NBA where salaries have to match. So no, there is no major trade coming. And this idea that even more, you don't even need internet access for this one. You just need to have been a sentient being over the last half decade. This idea that the Lakers are going to get Ben Simmons. When Daryl wouldn't trade Ben Simmons for C.J. McCollum, he's not trading Ben Simmons for Kendrick Nunn, Talen Horton-Tucker, Trevor Ariza, and whatever, and you couldn't even match the salaries. Oh, but what about Russ? Could you trade him for Russ? No. Daryl, I can't prove this, but I would bet a lot of money, Broussard, that Daryl maybe initially didn't want to trade for Russ the first time he did it. But James Harden was like, I want Russ. I don't want Chris Paul. Make this happen, my guy. And so he made it happen. So could the Lakers do something in the margins? Sure, maybe. But they don't have tradable salaries. They are old and expensive, or incredibly young, or still very old, and very, very cheap. So you can't trade minimum guys, except for other minimum guys. There's no trades to make. So no, there's no major trade coming down the pike. And Ben Simmons, he's only going to L.A., for date night, not for basketball games.
Well, that might be part of the problem, but no. Look, sorry, Lakers fans, but Nick is absolutely right. There is no major trade coming your way to change this roster. And quickly, you brought up Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers, Nick. If Daryl Morey is wise to just keep waiting it out to see what Portland decides to do, because they're looking bad. They're struggling mightily, way under 500. At some point, they may say, you know what? We're not leaving the decision up to Dame. We need to start all over and rebuild. So that is what Philadelphia could be waiting for, and it's wise to wait for them maybe to decide to trade Damian Lillard. But as far as the Lakers, look, you said it, Nick, they have no tradable assets, all right? They basically traded all their upcoming draft picks, gave them to the Pelicans in the Anthony Davis move.
Right.
And Talen Horton-Tucker, who, has some value in the league, is shooting 38% from the floor, 24% from three. All right, he's a good little player, but I think the Lakers have overvalued just how good he is. So I don't think he's bringing you back a ton of stuff. So Russell Westbrook, how many times can you trade him for John Wall? Well, our problem for your problem.
That's the trade.
They did it with Houston and Washington. Do you go back and do that again? Right. That's about it. So this is their roster. Nick said he's right. Maybe some minor tweaks around the margins. But whilst this is what the Lakers have to go to battle with. And look, I do think LeBron is seriously concerned. But I also think there was a little bit of truth to what he said as far as him believing it. What he said yesterday when he's like, look, we really haven't been together. We haven't had enough time together. So we got time to work this thing out once we get home.
I am holding out emotional hope, however, for the Kevin Love buyout. Only problem is the Cavs are actually pretty good. So that kind of throws a wrench into the UCLA, LeBron, Russ reunion with Kevin Love and everybody. Okay, now it is time for the part of the show where we watch a rumor grow into a story. And it started with my friend Bill Simmons, who I think last week tweeted this. We are like 5 days away from the first unsubstantiated LeBron loves what he's seeing from the young Cavaliers and might want to finish his career there story, and I honestly can't wait. And then it starts to pick up a little bit of momentum. Some aggregators got to it. Is this worth discussing? Then Kendrick Perkins tweeted something out. Cavs look good, carry on. And then Shams went on to McAfee. McAfee said, I'm hearing about some rumors about LeBron going back to Cleveland. And Shams said, I heard it from Rich Paul himself. That is not a story. But, Nicholas, that is like the third ring in the Infinity Stone. I just put it on of an unsubstantiated story right there on my, oh, I get the power. It's a story from nothing. Now we have a story created from Bill Simmons. Is it out of the realm of possibility? This is a legit story, my friend. Is it out of the realm of possibility that maybe not this year, but maybe next year? Maybe this is a crack in the foundation that Bill Simmons just pointed out. Say, ooh, there's a crack in that foundation. You might want to get that looked at. Lakers said, we can't do anything about it. And then LeBron starts thinking about, where else should I go? Back to the Heat. The Heat are pretty good, Heat culture. Nice there, like Tom Brady, go to Florida. Do you see this having any news value? Greater than zero. That's all I'm looking for. Greater than zero. Zero? Greater than zero.
No, it's zero. Hey, Wilds, I know you don't like it when I ask you questions on the air.
Less than zero.
But I want you. I'm going to ask you a question on the air, and I want you to answer it. Wilds, have you ever murdered anybody?
Oh God, no. Am I not supposed to answer that?
Oh.
I'm sure you're supposed to be like, how dare you?
Well,
no,
here's
obviously
the thing.
not.
The fact that you're even having to answer the question raises the question if you ever murdered anybody. That's what happened here. This is a snake eating its tail. This is Bill Simmons, very powerful media mogul, your buddy Bill Simmons, putting out into the ether for 3 million Twitter followers. Oh, can't wait for this rumor to start. Starting the rumor himself. And what, Wilds? What? Tell me how I'm wrong.
Well, just
That's
for the record,
exactly what this is.
Just for the record, be like, Kevin, do you want to buy a Ferrari or something like that? Yeah, it's just that, you kind of took me down a bad path there. It just put me in a bad spot.
Well, that's fine. I was trying to, okay, that's fine.
It did get dark for me.
You really went to the very end.
Notorious
Went to the very end.
And notorious and admitted sports hate, Lakers hater. He's a diehard Celtics fan and talks all the time, and I like Bill a lot, so I'm not taking shots here about how much his whole life hated the Lakers. He also seems to have, let's call it a tortured relationship with LeBron and LeBron's place in history. And so now, trying to put this out there to sow more unrest in Los Angeles. Broussard, this is what I will say. I think LeBron is finishing his career as a Laker with one caveat. One. And that is, when his contract's up the year after next, if he wanted to go to the team that he then wants to buy as part of a deal with whomever the current owner is, which is, I don't even know if this would be allowed, but I could see it happening. Like, hey, when I retire, this is the team I'm targeting. I can help you out for the last couple years if we can, start that process now. That I could see happening because LeBron's not going to be able to buy the Lakers. Lakers are the most valuable franchise in the NBA. That's off the table. But he is not going to force a trade or force his way out. He has now put down roots in L.A. His family's in L.A. His businesses are in L.A. He's not going to Cleveland because Evan Mobley looks like a young KG. That's flatly not happening.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.